Hey, what's up? We're back, episode 3. We are here. It's Friday. We're a little late. If you hear noises, that's our cat scratching at the chair. As soon as we start, she's got to be... Look at this. This is ridiculous. The whole time we're setting up, nothing. Not a word from her. But anyway, we're happy to be back. We are from our place. This is our place.
Yeah, this is our apartment.
This is it. This is where we'll be doing some of them from here, some of our podcasts from here.
Yeah.
You know, but I like to go outside as well.
Yeah, but the kids are down at the pool with
the
my
kids
niece
not here.
Jenna again, so we decided just to do it from home.
So this is it. So episode 3. Here we go. We're going to start really getting into it now that...
Well, the first thing that I want to say is Eddie Van Halen.
I know.
Awful. So...
Terrible.
That's my childhood.
Mine too.
He was amazing.
The first album I ever bought was 1984.
I love that.
I bought it in Woolworths. My father brought me there, and I remember it was $9.99.
How old were you?
14, 1984.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was 9 when that came out, but Van Halen was huge.
Oh,
I was in
they changed my
wall.
musical taste because
Yeah.
as soon as I heard 84, I was obsessed.
Yeah.
And then
definitely.
I had my friends make me tapes, and we'd make a mixtape and go play handball all day listening to Van Halen and being a kid. And so it was
were
really
great.
upsetting to hear
really-
it, you know, because
yeah.
he was young, and yeah, I know he had a great life. And I guess you just feel like when something that's so prominent in your youth, when that person dies, I guess it kind of, you recognize your mortality, you
It
know?
also makes me feel old.
Well, yeah, that's recognizing your mortality.
No, but I mean, not only, rest in peace, I'm sorry, but he had it up until the end. Like
Great life.
He didn't lose any of his talents. He could still play guitar. Like, it was just a part of his body. He was
great.
amazing.
He was
then,
amazing.
You know, but speaking about Van Halen.
He changed the way rock and roll, I feel like. People say, oh, he didn't change anything. My opinion is that the way Eddie Van Halen made his guitar talk was, I'd never heard before, and maybe people had done it before, but it just wasn't a mainstream. So to me, it wasn't just rock. It was like, I don't know, it was on another level. He was on another level.
On the guitar. He was a god on the guitar. He was amazing.
He was absolutely on the other level.
I
was listening to, I was down at the pool with the kids when you were up here, and I think it was the day that Eddie died, and I had my Van Halen mix on, you know, just listening, hanging out with the kids, and this older guy at the pool, not old, well, you know, he's got white hair,
right,
you know, and very Tommy Bahama, you know, a button-down shirt and the shorts.
There's a lot of them around.
A lot. So he comes over to me and says, hey, I like your music selection there. I'm like, is it too loud? You know, I thought he was just like being polite. I'm like, sorry, it was too loud. He was like, no, it's great. He goes, I love it. I wish you could turn it up. And I was shocked because he looked like he was like, had to be 60 years old.
Yeah.
So I started talking to him, and he's a retired doctor, and he tells me this story that he's a big Van Halen fan, and he also plays the guitar. He has a garage band. He started playing when he was 40.
Right.
Yeah, so he must be 60. He said, yeah, I didn't start playing until I was 40, and I'm 60 now, I'm retired, et cetera, et cetera. And when he was a kid, he grew up in Boston. Yeah, one of his friends had gotten tickets that, like, his parents knew someone at the Boston Garden or whatever. However, you know, in the 70s and 80s, that's how you got the good seats.
Right.
You knew someone, right?
Yeah.
Like with the Met tickets, you helped, you know, like.
Yeah.
When growing up in Queens and like Long Island, I don't know if the rest of the world knows this, at least the working class people, like I never had money to buy something. Like my parents, if they took me to a baseball game, they paid for it. We would sit in the bleachers.
Right.
But it always seemed
when
like.
you get a hookup.
Yeah, but it always seems like there always was a hookup, right?
There always was a hookup.
Queens and Long Island, you had a hookup, otherwise you can't survive.
Yeah, I can't tell you. Susie, my cousin Susie, when she worked at the Garden, she not only got one of her other cousins backstage passes to Billy Joel when it was her birthday, but he brought her on stage and sang happy birthday to her. Yeah. So and then
But you had the hookup. That's what That's like what Long Island people are all about, and the rest of the world doesn't understand. Everyone's got a hookup, and people might say, you know, oh yeah, it's something about Long Island that we've got it mastered. You know what I mean? Like every blue collar family, every middle class family has some sort of a hookup where you are able to live like a rich person for a day or two.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's what this guy had. I totally got sidetracked. So his friend's father, whatever, got him front row center for 1984 Van Halen, right? Like they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. And they're like 18 at the time, right? So 19, whatever it is, and they have tickets to the, was it the usher, right? I guess they had ushers. So the usher's walking him down, and he's looking at the tickets, and he goes, your seats are gone. They had built a bump out into the stage. I guess they wanted to come out more. So the usher's like, all right, I guess you could just stand here and lean on the stage. And the guy's like, oh my God, like they would never let that done today. So he said the concert starts, and he goes, and Eddie's there. He's with his guitar. He's like, Eddie sweats all over me. He's like, I'm having a gay moment. Like, maybe I'm gay, but like he's really, like, it's amazing. You know, it's Eddie Van Halen, and Dave is there. Dave's like singing right at him. Right. And at one point, Eddie's doing his little guitar solo, and he can see Dave in the wings, and someone from the crowd hands him this giant joint. He said it was like this big.
To David Lee Roth?
Handed it to Roth.
Okay.
So Roth takes it, he lights it up, right? He smokes it, and you see him in the background. He goes, and everyone's like, yeah, it's pretty good. So he comes out, he gives it to Eddie, right in front where this friend of the doctor is watching, right? Right in front, he gives it to Eddie. Eddie's smoking it. He's playing his guitar as he did with smoking his joint. He gives it back to Dave. Dave takes a drag, and he hits it, and he gives it to Doc, the guy I'm talking to, right in front row. He takes the joint, right? He looks up at Dave. He turns to the audience. He puts his arms up, and everyone goes, yeah! He said it was the most amazing moment of his life. He hit it. He gave it to his friends. I'm like, you got high with Van Halen. How awesome is that story?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love Van Halen with David Lee Roth.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But when I first moved up here, actually when I first met you, do you remember Carrie that we worked with? She was one of the other waitresses. And she asked me to go see Van Halen, but with, what's his name?
Hagar.
Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So we were right up in front at Jones Beach. And I have to say, I'm not a big fan of Sammy Hagar as far as Van Halen goes, but it is what it is. But I was in complete awe to see Eddie Van Halen play his guitar. I was mesmerized.
Yeah.
When he was doing his solos, I couldn't take my eyes off of him. I loved him.
He did the solo, the guitar work, and Beat It.
Yeah,
A lot of people don't know that.
Do you know he didn't get paid for it?
What?
He did it for free.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
I read it online.
Why did he do it for free?
Just to do it.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, that's what I read. So, obviously, I could have read something wrong, but there's so many articles coming up after his death, and one of the articles said that, I can't remember why he did it, but he agreed to do it, and it was like a piece of cake for him, you know what I mean? It just...
For him.
Yeah.
That was a piece of... If you listen to that today...
It came off the top of his head, and it was kind of like, you know, an artist-to-artist thing. And
what you just said came off the top of your head. That's... I look at musicians, to me, they are on another level. Mm-hmm. Because for him to say, I just came off the top of my head, I could not imagine 1,000 years of school, of music lessons and ever being able to come up with something like that.
Yeah, well,
it's like you're touched by something in the atmosphere that's just not touching me, sorry.
Right, that's okay. Well, as far as like, I'm really good at writing lyrics. Mm. Like, I don't share them, but I'm really good at writing lyrics. And I know in my head how I want them to sound. But I couldn't even, I'm going to learn how to play guitar, having lessons coming up. But to be honest with you, it just came out of him. Like I could never imagine being able to come up with it and make it happen. You know, does that make sense?
No, absolutely, because it's like anything with music. Like I have no musical skills whatsoever. So when I see someone sing or play a guitar or drum, anything, I'm like, wow, that's...
Me too.
How do you do that?
Playing an instrument is amazing. It's such a talent, and it's something I have to learn to do.
Well, they touched a lot of lives, and Van Hagar was good. It was different. It wasn't the same. For me, it was...
He was okay.
Right, but for me, it was David Lee Roth was Van Halen.
David Lee Roth and Eddie and Alex... They were Van Halen. Right. We made a joke. We're like, we're going to see Van Hagar. You know, like...
Everyone made that joke. Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah. But it's... It was a good concert.
Yeah, they were good for what they were, but they weren't what they were.
But as I said, to be right there, he was right there.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't look at anything but him when he was just, and he enjoyed it. You could just see, and obviously he was on tour, so he's doing this every night. How many nights a week when you're on tour? And you could see the joy and the fun and the happiness on his face as he just played away. It was
He's
really
amazing. His soul went into it.
All right, so
I just wanted to look up one thing because I thought I heard something where I think they only hit top 10 or number one was Jump. Jump went number one. And I found that odd. Does that sound right?
no, but who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows back then?
But,
All right,
you know
so
what? Go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let's move on to the next subject. What do you think?
What subject?
Last weekend.
I want to talk more about Van Halen.
I know, but we have a lot to talk about.
No, we don't. We can stay here as long as we want. Go ahead. I'm just busting your balls.
No, again, Eddie
No,
Van Halen
just
was great.
what
but
I was
just-
going to say is that, like we were saying with your niece, it's the music has changed over the years so much, and I'm like, oh, Grandpa Darren, here we go. But what bands from today's generation are going to be sustainable 30 years from now, like the Rolling Stones and
Van Halen,
and the
Led
Doors
Zeppelin,
were like people
the
still listen to the
Doors.
Doors.
Right.
People still listen to Zeppelin and Stones. Like what is pulled from this generation?
Although I do have to say, it blew me away at one of my last jobs that I had for the mortgage company. There was one girl there that was younger, and you and I were going to a Halloween party, and I was dressing
Party.
up.
Halloween party.
I was dressing up as 80s Madonna with the lace gloves and the lace dress and the big bow in the hair, and you were going as David Lee Roth. So
Oh
she
yeah,
was
that was
asking,
Vito's party.
I started getting ready at the end of the day because you were picking me up and we were going straight there. And she goes, "Oh, you're going to be Madonna." And I'm like, "Yeah." She recognized that. Sorry about the collar ringing. Anyway, so she recognized that. Yeah, everybody knows Madonna. And she goes, "Well, what's Darren going as?" And I said, "David Lee Roth." She goes, "Who's that?"
That hurts.
I couldn't believe
That
it.
hurts.
That hurt, but
I hope that glare's not bothering you guys too much. Is it?
don't draw attention to it.
Sorry. It's my ADD. I gotta take my medicine.
Yeah. So anyway, so last weekend we explored a town close to us. It's called Dunedin.
Right. Yeah.
And,
Had some awesome food.
oh my God.
I came up with the best slogan for that barbecue
Wait,
place. What was
well,
the name of the barbecue place? Was
Dunedin Smokehouse.
Dunedin Smokehouse.
It's
Awesome
the
barbecue.
best food I've had since I've
Barbecue
been here.
food so good it'll make you slap your daughter, because that's what I did. It was so good. I'm like, this is so good.
It's the best that I've had since I've been
Oh,
here.
it was so good.
It was really, really, really good. And it's such a cute little town. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny because they have like this Irish pub and they have this coffee house and there's live music and bands playing. And people are doing the mask thing still, but there's a lot of outside seating. And it's like a cobblestone street. And
It's really pretty. It's like real
it
small
seems
town.
that everybody that lives around there has golf carts. Because that's what everybody's driving around in.
Yeah, a lot of golf
either
carts.
little what do you call Vespas
Right.
or the golf carts, and I want a
golf
I
cart.
love that place.
Yeah.
And they have some great shops, and of course I went. Oh, I have to show you. Hold on a minute.
This is, what are you doing? All right, so she'll be right back.
All right, so I think we've spoken before about my problem with shoes. I have well over 100 pairs of shoes, and I
Yeah.
don't need any more.
It's a problem.
But I can't help it when I see things that I
Problem.
So anyway, I went into the store called Bend the Trend, and they're awesome. And they actually had it my size, which isn't very popular because I have tiny feet. I have like 5.5, 6. So, stop me.
Oh my God.
I love my new boots. I'm so excited.
They are fabulous.
Bend the Trend in Dunedin has the coolest shoes and jewelry and clothes. It was awesome. And
Those
the
are
people
nice.
there, super helpful, super nice. Especially when you're really short and you can't reach things.
Jessica gets mad at me when I don't get excited about things that she purchases, so that's why
No,
I was
I
doing
don't get mad at you. When
Like,
you
yeah,
don't-
it's great shoes. What do you want me to do?
I don't get mad because he doesn't get excited because I don't care, if he doesn't get excited. It's not his thing. But he always has some snide, sarcastic meh to add to it. Oh yeah, well you need another pair of boots. Like shut up and just let me enjoy myself.
Because I'm frugal and I want to save money.
No, that's not
why.
it. It's because he is a smart ass who can't let me enjoy something.
Well, let's fit. Our dog is about to hit the camera. So if this jerks real quick. All right, she didn't. Sorry. Well, if I didn't, first of all, we have a pretty big closet. The closet's big. Now let's stop. Let me talk. The closet is big.
It's a walk-in closet.
It's a walk-in closet. I have 4 items.
Maybe.
4 items in that closet. It's the whole bottom half is filled. It's like a wall of shoes. So that's why I got
Yeah, it's really from top to bottom, just stacks of shoes. I have to write on the front of the boxes which ones they are, because there's no way I could go through them.
And I don't even care. It's just that, like, there's just so much shit. We have so much shit.
That's not shit. They're my shoes. I love heels. I love boots. I love sandals. I don't love that the cat is now chewing on the box.
So she's in that store
I love it.
buying those, right? And I'm sitting outside with Jet, and the girls are in there, and just killing time. And all of a sudden, I see these 2 redheaded girls walk by, and when Olivia, my oldest, was a baby, my old boss's wife and kids used to babysit her during the day when I would work. So I'm looking at her, Jess, and I'm like, oh my God, that looks like...
The cat's biting my foot. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
You want to move her? That's cool.
Yeah,
Just move her. It's like Wild Kingdom in here.
Well,
So I see these 2 girls. I'm like, that really... In my head, I'm thinking, that really looks like Lindsay. Because there was 3 girls. It's Lindsay, was it Molly?
Molly.
And what's the other one?
I don't know. I only remembered Molly. Because
So I couldn't think of the other girl's name. So I'm sitting there with Jet, and they walked by, and I just yelled out Lindsay to see if she would turn around, because I just didn't want to like walk. Hey, aren't you? So I yelled out, Lindsay, and Jet's looking at me like, what are you doing? So they didn't turn around. I'm like, I guess it wasn't them. But then they circled back, and they're coming back towards me, and I hear the one girl, the friend, talk to her saying, Molly, I was telling him, like, Molly. So I yelled out Molly. She turned around, and it turns out it was Olivia's babysitter's kids.
now the last time I saw
From Bayville,
Molly,
and they live in Bayville, New York.
last time I saw Molly, she was maybe 6.
Yeah. She was
Around 6, and she
like this
just
big.
graduated college. But when she turned around, the funny thing is I'm in the store shopping, and Jet comes running in. Hey, Mom, just let you know, Dad's outside talking to a bunch of girls. He says it's Olivia's babysitter, but who knows?
So once again, Jet is cock blocking me.
He's a troublemaker. No, but as soon as she turned around, she had the same face. I'm like, oh my God!
Yeah,
I knew
it's just amazing. I just thought I know it's a long, no point story, but the point of the story is never in a million years could you have said one day you're going to be in Florida and you're going to bump into your oldest babysitter's kids who are now adults living in Florida too.
Yeah,
it's just crazy how things work out.
How things work out like that. So.
It's good coffee. So it's beautiful here. I know you're not happy with, you missed the change of seasons, which I kind of do, but I kind of don't. It was 96 degrees today. Sunny, was beautiful. We went to the pool and
Listen, I like warm weather, and I love the beach, and I love the pool. It's great. I like to be able to tan. But I miss the fall. Like, it doesn't feel like we should be getting ready for Halloween.
no, it's weird. It is weird. That's our dog.
And
Sorry.
I want to wear my boots and my fall boots.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
And my sweaters
I don't think that's gonna
and
happen.
my little sweater dresses. And I know I got rid of most of my jackets and all that stuff. I'm fine with that. But it's hot as hell, and it's October. So I think the thing is, I don't know the weather patterns. I don't know if it's ever gonna get cool enough for that stuff. But I have a hell of a lot of shoes that need to be worn.
I don't think we're going to be wearing jackets.
No, I can't.
don't think
It's
it's gonna
so
happen.
hot, and it's already, going. I don't even know today's date.
October 9th, October
Yeah.
10th.
All right. So
Right.
we're second week in October, and it's hot as hell.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that I'm just gonna have to turn my obsession with buying boots into buying bathing suits again, more.
Well, at least bathing suits you could put in a drawer. So you know what?
Oh, but you know what?
What?
This whole living down here adjustment, I know he's doing great with it. I'm taking, my time. Love being near my family, but I do miss being up north for a lot of reasons. I miss friends and, the change of the seasons. I like the fall. Like,
Well, but it's not like we're never
but
going
the
to go back
worst
and
part
visit.
of, and I'm not saying it's terrible here. I'm not saying that. There's many perks. But my worst nightmare came true. Well, one of my worst Florida isms came true.
What?
My son said y'all.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
I almost spit my drink at him like,
He said, y'all.
no, it's you guys.
They're all acclimating. You know what I wanted to tell you real quick about, I didn't mention this to you. There was I don't even know if I should tell you this.
My son said y'all.
I know, but I don't know if I should tell you this.
What? Tell me.
There was a shark attack yesterday in Miami. Black tip. Bit this
I'm
guy,
living in
bit his
Jurassic
leg.
fucking Park.
Bit his leg. Like, he's fine. He survived, but he bit his leg
Oh,
like
yeah,
12
great.
inches.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
There's too many things here that want to bite me. We ran into a copperhead snake already.
No, it wasn't a copperhead.
Yes, it was.
I don't know what it was.
It was copperhead snake. We ran into a big black racer snake, which doesn't bite, but the copperheads are venomous. And there are signs every 6 feet around all the lakes around us about the alligators and the snakes. And
So that's what you have a problem with, is
and
the
there's
wildlife?
cockroaches that fly.
I haven't
and
seen.
at
I
your
haven't seen
head.
one of those yet. I think that's a rumor. I have not seen one yet.
There's bats that fly around.
Yeah, the bats don't bother you. They don't
All right,
hurt you.
listen. I feel like I'm
They
living.
don't hurt you.
I'm living in Jurassic Park. I just feel like a foreigner. I feel like I'm in a different country. But I'll.
They don't bother you.
I'll get used to it, and I'll just walk around in boots, like not fancy ones, but boots that the snakes can't bite. I'm gonna go outside in full. What would Steve Irwin wear?
Camouflage?
No, not camouflage. Like the boots for protection and the gloves and the hat.
You're out of your mind.
No, I get scared. I get really scared with everything.
What did you think about that documentary we were watching on YouTube? I don't know if you
one?
guys have ever heard this. There's a gentleman named Mathew Roberts.
Oh, that was good.
You guys ever hear of Mathew Roberts? You know
That
who he
was
is?
good. All right.
He is Charles Manson's son.
Well, it's not proven because they refused. He tried. First of all, he was doing this interview and he had these like big glasses on, whatever. And in the beginning, the reporter said he never proved by DNA that he.
Well, back up. This is what happened. So he was adopted, okay, and he was engaged, and his fiance at the time said, "Hey, why don't we get one of those 23andMe done just to see what
Because
you
he
are?"
was adopted.
Right, because to see what you are, to see what our kids are going to look like. You don't know anything about your background.
Right.
He was like, "All right, yeah, fine." So he got that done, and they immediately matched him to his
his
mother.
mother.
So it goes through the adoption agency, and I guess in California,
It was one of those adoption agencies that if the child comes looking for you in the future, they'll contact the mother and leave it up to her whether or
Right.
not. So it's not a completely closed thing. It's so he contacted them, and
well, the nurse first
and
of all
the
that
nurse
he
told
got,
him,
yeah, she said to him,
in a very nice way, basically warned him that his mother had mental problems.
yeah, she's a little off. He was
And-
like, all right, so
he's like, all right. So she went ahead and contacted her. She
no,
found her.
well, yeah, and then they started corresponding back and,
And
forth.
she wrote back
Sorry
and
about
forth.
the dog, Presley. Come on, girl, come over here.
And
Come here.
she wrote back, and
So they were talking back and forth,
and at first he just thought she was, her stories were kind of wild. She's a crazy hippie, whatever. And but then he started.
well, she had said. At one point, he said to her, well, I was part of a very famous family in California. And she eventually said it was...
She said, I named you whatever, whatever. And then for the last name, did question mark. I can't tell you this.
for your safety.
For your safety.
You'll have to know in person.
I'd have to tell you in person.
Apparently, what happened was she was involved in an orgy because she was part of the Manson family, in an orgy with Manson and a bunch of other people.
She told him this. They were all on LSD. And first she told him the story about how her father chased...
Her what?
Her father.
Her what? Her
Stuck in
father.
Jurassic Park with this one.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, her father chased him...
Chased Charlie Manson away
Charles
from...
Manson away, saying, you dirtbag, truck, redneck, whatever.
Outlaw bike trash.
Outlaw bike trash.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what she wrote in the letter. But she continued with the little gang, Charles Manson's little cult, and they had an orgy. Everybody was on LSD and whatever.
And the timeline matched up from when she got pregnant
To
when he was in and out of prison. So he was out of prison for that 3-month period when she would have had to have gotten pregnant in order for him to be born when he was born. So like he did the research, all the timelines matched up and everything.
Right. So he wasn't trying to cash
And wait,
in
let
on
me
it.
stop but when you just Google, it's what's his website?
His website on YouTube is called One Man's Son. It's what am I saying? ONEMAN
Just, but if you just
SON.
But if you just put in Mathew Roberts Manson, it'll all come up, and you'll see. But how much when you
he
look
looks
at
just
him?
like him.
Oh
He's
my
crazy.
God!
When he took his
There's
glasses
no
off,
denying
he
it.
made those crazy eyes, and
And he
he put
even-
them up next to each other.
And he talks like him. He's got his mannerisms,
like him.
the way he thinks, the
His
darting
bone
eyes.
structure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So anyway, eventually with going back and forth with his mother, number one, he figured out how crazy she is. But number two, he finally figured out, all right, it's the Manson family. He asked her somehow, yeah. So
Don't be a spoiler, people. Let them figure it out.
all right, well, but the thing is, he had things of Manson, signed pictures.
Oh yeah, he had letters.
And
He was
letters
talking back and forth with Charlie Manson for years.
And when Charles Manson when he first contacted him, and he said, "Don't try to ride my coattails." Da 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 da. So he goes, "I got pissed," and I wrote back. I said, "Yours are not coattails that I want to ride on. My mother's name is this. Do you know? In Indiana you were, or something like that.
Right.
His mother's name." And blah, blah, blah. Well, Charles Manson wrote back, yes, that he was very fond of her and that he remembers her father chasing him, calling him biker trash.
Outlaw biker trash.
Outlaw biker trash and chasing him away. So it kind of like...
It all connected.
The letters from the mother or the discussions from the mother and the letters for Charlie Manson. And he sent him back a picture that I guess the mother had sent of Charles Manson with... the Beach Boys guy.
Yes, I forget. Not Brian Wilson, the other one.
Yeah, well, whichever one. And he said, if I was trying to benefit financially off of you, I could get $5,000 for this, but here, I sent it back to you.
Yep.
So over time, they wrote back all these years.
And he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
Presley, quiet girl.
And he never used any of what he got from his father for any money or for any...
Well, he didn't have any money, because my question was... Well,
No, to sell anything, like the pictures and stuff. But my question is that the jail flat out refused...
It wasn't the jail, it was the lawyer. What happened was...
Oh, the lawyer flat out refused to give him DNA straight from Charles Manson. They went against... They used it against, or tested it against, the guy that was claiming
the next of
falsely
kin, right.
that he
Charles
was
Manson Jr.
His grandson.
I think, what was it, Charles? I don't know what his name was now. But
whatever. But it turns out that he wasn't even Charles Manson's son's kid.
Let me stop.
He was from an affair.
I think we're being really cloudy. All right, so you have Charles Manson, right? Manson had 3 children, okay? That we know of.
Yeah.
So, of those 3 children, one of them supposedly had a son. That son is the grandson that's named as next of kin to Charles Manson.
And
that
got
son,
everything.
right, yeah, and that grandson is not Charles Manson's blood, because Charles Manson's son, who fathered the grandson, was impotent, couldn't father children.
So when he found out his wife was pregnant, it was obviously from an affair, and he left her.
Right.
But even still,
so then when
somehow the grandson still got his whole estate and the rights to him.
Well, when Mathew Roberts submitted his DNA through the court for the match to say that, I am the next of kin, they threw it out because they matched it, or they put it up against Charles White, which is Charles Manson Jr., the grandson's DNA, which didn't match because this guy, the grandson, has nothing to do with Charles Manson's bloodline.
He was from an affair, so it wouldn't have matched anyway. But they did like facial recognition and came up at 95%.
There's so much corruption.
It's very interesting.
I am positive.
You should watch it. And we found it on Jordan the Lion.
Yeah, Jordan the Lion. Well, this is how it all started. I read the book. It's Chaos, Charles Manson, and
CIA?
Secrets of the CIA in the 1960s. It's Tom O'Neill is the author. It's an amazing book if you like that type of conspiracy stuff because it talks all about Manson and Kennedy and how it's all intertwined with the government and 4 Ultra K, and it's amazing. So I was just looking online for Spahn Ranch because I just wanted to see different pictures of it, if it's even still existed. It's gone now because it burnt down in 1970. And then California came in and they just bulldozed it. So you could still kind of see where it was, and you see some small remnants.
Right.
But it's basically all gone. So within looking for that, that's when I came across this vlogger. His name's Jordan the Lion, where he had interviewed this Mathew Roberts. And that's where we just started watching it. It's all crazy. All that stuff
crazy.
is so...
Let's not even talk anymore about the interview. It's a really good documentary.
There's a lot, and this guy Mathew Roberts is actually he's making a documentary now about his lineage. So
yeah,
it should be good. He seems like a decent guy. He looks exactly like Manson.
He looks crazy.
And the reason why I thought it was so interesting because we just had this conversation a few weeks ago, and I said, Manson, what he did was horrible. He's a horrible person.
Evil.
But he was his upbringing was terrible. He was abused. He was basically an orphan left out to raise himself. He wasn't a stupid man. He was very smart. He did have talent in writing. There was a lot of abuse in his life. There was a lot of abuse. So if you took Charles Manson when he was born and put him in a normal, caring, loving family,
I don't know.
Would he have been what he turned out to be?
There's a lot of people that have been severely abused, even worse than him. It's not a... It could be a reason why he may have been angry. It could have been a reason why he may have been a bitter, angry, hateful person. But it takes a special kind of person. Even though he didn't do it himself, he brainwashed these people into murdering, cutting a baby out of somebody's stomach, and doing these awful things. Now, what gets me is I think he lived and died exactly where he should have. He should have been in jail. But the fucked up part is he got life in prison. But one of his followers that actually cut somebody's head almost completely off with a pocket knife only got 17 years.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. So
because he turned evidence on Manson.
But you didn't answer my question. What I stated, how I stated to you, if you took Manson when he was born and you gave him to us and we raised him, and that's a bad example. If you gave him to a normal family and they raised him and gave him love and gave him the care and everything he needed and wanted as a child, he wouldn't have been as twisted as an adult.
You don't know that.
I think that has a lot to do with it, Jess.
I don't know, because there's been many people that I've known I've known...
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
No, wait. That have lived really, really bad, abusive, scary lives. And though it changed certain parts of their personality as far as trust...
Shh.
Presley, come here. As far as trust or as far as being needing to take pills because you're depressed and PTSD and all that, I don't believe it can make you into a murderer.
Quiet, girl.
Come on.
My point when I want to interrupt you,
the people that hurt him.
My point is, look at this man that we watched that looks just like him. He's his carbon copy, and he seems like a decent person.
Yeah, he might not be a carbon copy up in his brain. You have to look at a lot of the
But if that kid was raised by the Manson, quiet. I'm sorry. If that kid was raised by the Manson family instead of the adopted parents who adopted him, who knows what he would have turned out to be?
I'm not saying that you can't become a bad person, but there has to be something. And also, this might sound weird, but people that have grown up in abusive homes that kill their abusers, I find very different than somebody that'll go out and just kill an innocent person. Look at Jeffrey Dahmer. His father visited him, kind of stood up for him while still putting down what he did, loved him.
Right.
And he killed and ate men. I think that there has
Don't make you a bad person.
Yeah. But
we're gonna have to wrap this up.
All right, but my thing is that I find it hard to accept that we could put off what he did on his upbringing. Maybe it could.
Well, we can't because we'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know. It's just very interesting, and that book is amazing. If you're interested in that type of stuff, it is the most amazing book. It'll make you question everything you ever thought or wanted to feel about our government, because it's all related. Manson, Kennedy, Sirhan. It's insane. And I think that's a lot. Quiet.
I think Presley's telling us
Yes.
it's time.
That's it. That's going to be it for this week. So we'll be back next week.
Thank
Maybe
you.
2 next week. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll try to do
We'll do at
Monday
least-
and Friday,
Yeah, we'll
or
try.
Tuesday and Friday.
We'll see.
Um,
But we didn't. All right, we'll save
What?
that for another. We'll save it for
What?
another
Just
time.
tell me.
Nothing. We'll save it for another
I
time.
hate when he-
So that's it. That's our show. 2 Bad Parents, episode 3, done
Thank
in the books.
you.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye bye. Mwah.